Coach Cook. Husker are at Ohio State on Wednesday and host Illinois on Saturday.
You guys good? So anyway, played 3 top 10 teams in 8 days and thought we got better and played some good volleyball. We got to learn how to win those. But when I look at our team compared to the other teams where they're at right now, first of all, I think it's Final Four level volleyball. So I feel like we just got finished with the Final Four and more to come. And then, but you know, you look at Penn State, Wisconsin, and Minnesota. They've got very experienced setters. They've got all those guys have been together for a lot longer than we have, and I think that's their edge right now. So we got 5 weeks to try to catch them and finish out, have a good second half in the Big Ten, and try to get the NCAA tournament, see how far we can go.
With the personalities that you know on this team right now, how do you think they're going to handle adversity?
Great, yeah, they're going to be great.
Why do you think that?
Fecky and Kenzie, and I just think we got a lot of motivated people, and you know, they're not happy with that. You know, one thing I've learned is we get everybody's best shot, and everybody loves to beat us. There's some major celebrations going on. So, you know, I don't know if our new players understand, you know, how fired up teams get to play Nebraska.
What's holding you back in these tight sets that wasn't last year?
It's just consistency and making good plays and being good after 20 points. And you know, again, there's some, you know, it's hard to create that in practice. We got to go through it. And you know, I look back to 2015. You know, we lost back to back, and then you know we went on a run. And so you know, in this conference, you're going to lose matches unless you have a really, really special team. Minnesota might, I mean, they may run the table, but it's a tough conference. You can see everybody we're playing is either, I mean, we're playing a top 10 team again this week, a top 10 team again and then next week, plus Ohio State on the road, who's already beaten Penn State. So, I mean, there's no easy matches, and our players are learning that, you know, you just got to find a way to try to survive and win these matches best you can. And if you don't, you get another shot the next week.
What did you do well in that first set against Minnesota?
Played Husker volleyball. You know, we were on their game plan. We were serving tough and weren't making errors. And then and I thought we let it get. I think we lost the first game, right?
No,
yeah, we lost the first game.
yeah, that's right. So
Yeah. And those games 2 and 3, we just played really good. That's what we've shown is we can play really good volleyball for stretches. We just haven't put it together for a whole match yet.
What ways are you seeing the players aren't happy with the results?
It's just a feeling, just being around them. I just, you know, Fecky and Kenzie are the winningest seniors in college volleyball right now. They've won more matches than anybody, and so I just think that doesn't sit well with them, and they're helping this team figure out what we have to do, along with our coaches.
During the tough times, do you notice those two get way more vocal with the team than usual?
They're not real vocal people, but they're certainly doing their best to lead. And sometimes I worry they're trying to do too much, so it takes away from their play a little bit. But you know, it's a new experience for them as well. But it's just part of the process we're going through. And it's been nice to get a win here or there in the last 3 matches, but we got to learn from those and understand how the level we have to play at to finish games, and we get another shot Wednesday.
Are you concerned at all that making some improvements but still not getting a win is going to affect their confidence for the last 5 weeks of the season?
Yeah, no. I think it's going to make this group be more determined and understand the level that they have to play at, the discipline they have to have. They can't take plays off. They can't take plays off in practice. That's what we're learning. This is a grind, and it is a point-by-point mentality, and now we have to have that for the next 5 weeks. And I don't know, we can talk about it all we want, but until you go through it, you don't really understand it.
Is it good for this run of opponents you've been having to come maybe in the middle of the season then, as opposed to the end?
I don't know. It's just, I don't know. I mean, we have the toughest schedule in the Big Ten. You can look at it compared to some of the other teams, and playing. You tell me what other sport in college plays 3 top 10 teams in 8 days? Throw that on basketball, football for 3 weeks. See how tough that is. I mean, it's we probably have the toughest schedule of any team in the country. The last 8 days, and all on the road too. And think about the travel. Going to Penn State, and then Minnesota the match. Wisconsin the match is at 8 o'clock at night because of TV, and then we got to travel. We don't even get into Minnesota till 2 in the morning, and they turn around and play Minnesota. I mean, can you tell me what other college athletes are doing that? There's none. So it's tough. It's making us better. We're learning how to deal with working through things, and when things aren't all set up nice and easy for us. Learning how to be more resilient. This generation likes that word, resilient. I have other words in the old generation that I use, but we're trying to become more resilient. And this experience is helping with that.
More questions? All right, thank you.
Thanks, guys.
We do have our first football player here, so Freedom.
It might be Tuesday.
Boom. Hello. 3, 4, and we're not going 5. Okay, awesome.
All set. Questions for Freedom?
What was the attitude coming back today?
Oh, just a great feeling. Getting the win in and knowing that all our hard work has actually finally paid off. But at the same time, taking this day to relax and getting ready to go back after it.
Play of more than 11 yards or so in the last. What about the rush has been given over the past couple of weeks?
Everybody's just doing their jobs. Everybody's being physical at the point of attack, and everybody's just doing exactly what Chin has told us in the beginning. We understand that if a team runs primarily and has success, then we know as a defense it's going to be a long game. So knowing that we have to stop the run first is a huge key, is a huge point of our defense.
For the player, I know this was supposed to be your bye week, but generally are the players pretty excited to keep playing this week and get a game in versus having a week off after coming off a win last week?
Definitely. Coach Frost is taking care of us. He knows exactly what we're going through, and he has been doing things to have our body be rejuvenated and not be exhausted. But I'm pretty sure everybody is ready to get back after it, especially after a win like that.
So Freedom, did you get practice today?
No, today was more kind of an off day. Just getting ready. We are already halfway through the season, so some people's legs might be a little bit shaken. So this is a great opportunity for us to get our legs back under us and get ready to work.
Guys appreciate it.
Oh, definitely.
Is this the first Monday you guys have had off?
Yeah, but generally this would have been our week off, but Coach Frost has made the decision to have this Monday off, and then tomorrow we'll get right back to work.
So it's a bye day.
Yeah.
I mean, the narrative's going to be you guys aren't going to really take Bethune-Cookman seriously. They're a lower division team. I mean, what's your mindset going into a game against a team like Bethune that's from a lower division coming in the middle of the season like this?
Every game is important, no matter what. No matter what the record, no matter who they are. We always have to take every team as if it's the best team in the conference, because you never know what could happen if you actually do that. So
you guys have learned your lesson on that probably a few times over the years, right?
yeah, so take every team seriously, and be prepared for anything.
Is this team still thinking they can win out and maybe be eligible for a bowl?
Oh yeah, definitely. That was one of Coach Frost's main messages, that we need to do everything perfect to a T, 100%, because he believes that we can win all the games out, and we believe as a team that we can do it too. So yeah, we definitely have that goal in mind.
Freedom, what kind of scene was that in the locker room afterwards on Saturday?
Oh, that was fun. To finally be able to see everybody collectively happy, seeing everything work on the field, seeing all our hard work just finally show up, and having everybody celebrate, everybody being happy, it was very emotionally great. I don't know how to describe it, but it was just a really great feeling, especially for me because I'm a senior, and I'm pretty sure all the other seniors can say that having this first win on our belt is a huge point to our season.
Hey, Freedom, what was it like going up against that 6'9", 400-pound offensive lineman?
That was a big guy. It was tiring, but at the same time, I know that when Coach Dawson first told me about this, the challenge this week, he said, "Hey, be prepared for anything because you never know who you're ever going to go against." Yeah, this is probably the biggest guy I've ever gone against, but at the same time, I feel like I did what I needed to do. I worked as hard as I could, and we came out with the victory.
Hey, Freedom, when you were 0-5, 0-6, what was it you think that kept the seniors going hard? I mean, if you're a younger player, it's early in your career, you know you have time to fix it, but what kept you guys going and get it out there?
I feel like it's probably the coaches talking to us, saying that, hey, we know we're in this situation, we understand that, but there's so much that we're doing right now that needs to keep improving because, yes, this is Coach Frost's first year, but it's also one of those years that has a huge statement. If us as the seniors just said, okay, all right, we're 0-5, we should throw in the towel, then what type of foundation are we actually laying for the younger cast around here? So having the coaches, having basically everybody stay tuned in and focus on what we need to do was huge for us seniors and all the leaders.
This might be kind of the same question, but is there one thing you want to leave, you know, in your last 5-6 games, you know, as a player, this senior class wants to leave here?
Probably just to Marcus saying, hey, we did something that nobody else that we could do. We did something that nobody else thought that we could do. We were down in the trenches, and we came up. Because most people don't expect the 0-5 team to ever win any more games because they're already in that situation. They expect the team to stay down. But Coach Frost talks about getting back up after a fight.
Through this whole stretch, is there a player that you've seen as exemplified that not quit, not give up spirit?
Oh, there's been a lot. For me, seeing our offense go out on the field, and also I could say Stanley, I could say Adrian, I could say Divine, I could say a lot of people. But when I see them actually go up for balls that's difficult to get and also and sacrifice their body, or I see Divine run through 3 or 4 people and just having that will to keep pushing on, it's very motivational for me because I know that they are putting in the work, and I know that I need to put in that work because I know we expect greatness from each other. Even if the score sometimes doesn't say it, we all expect greatness from each other.
It's the first time Nebraska Ohio State has a night game. Yeah, there's a night game every
any key things you need this year in 16 for me to put behind us?
Nebraska's first season in the Big Ten.
What is it?
I think Ohio State.
That was like right after like they played South Dakota State before, and they gave them a home game.
For 4 seasons, 2010 to 2014, they played. The future games. Fear of mirror. You ever get cornered by
Mirror got a touches yesterday.
what's the deal?
It's been like a healthy scratch all year. For a team that can't run the ball,
This Big Ten West.
Any team needs to be showcased. I can see like
day off today for you guys?
Oh man, it was good just to get our feet back. A few guys are banged up, so just to get the off day away from running, away from pads, it was good.
Now that you've won a game, is there a sense of urgency of like, all right, now we can't, we're done screwing around, we've got to go?
Not really a done screwing around thing. I think it's one of those things where we got the monkey off our back, so it's a relief in the sense of we're not just thinking about trying to win a game every day. That's not something we're worried about. Now that we knocked that out the door, we can move on and kind of work towards the next game and building on the success we had last week. Yeah, I think it is. It's one of those things where, you lose 6 games in a row in the manner that we lost. It's one of those things where a win is almost like a breakthrough for us. And, having that win was good in the sense that was our breakthrough moment just because, the monkey's off our back. Guys can really just be relaxed throughout practice, throughout the week, even just taking care of their stuff. Guys will be like, they'll feel a lot better just because we won a game.
Trey, JoJo Dolman's a guy that kind of moved around.
Mm-hmm.
Safety now that he's an outside backer. What have you seen out of him? Just kind of his versatility to maybe move around.
Yeah, I mean he's a versatile guy. He's a big guy. Also, 6'1". He's around 220, but he runs well. So he can play safety. He can play a little bit of linebacker, a little bit of nickel, and really some dime too. So he's a flexible guy. We can move him around positions. Kind of working him back in. He had a little injuries, banged up throughout the year, but he's starting to feel healthy. So we're trying to work him in a little bit more just to get his wind back up.
Yeah, on paper, the level of opponent this week drops off compared to what you guys have seen this year. How do you keep your eye on the ball this week, kind of focus on the thing?
It's one of those things where, we don't look at, how good an opponent is or how bad an opponent is. It's one of those things where, it's the next team. We got to go 1-0 this week. That's the motto every week is to go 1-0. It doesn't matter who you put in front of us. You can put the New York Giants in front of us. We're going to approach them the same way. So it's one of those things where, you just got to attack the week, watch film, do everything you got to do to stay on top of what you're doing.
Hey Trey, you've seen a few Scott Frost locker room celebrations.
Mm-hmm.
Can you kind of compare and contrast? Can you tell how much last Saturday meant to him?
Yeah, it was. I was there for his first win at UCF, the Peach Bowl win, and I think this one was probably up there with his most celebratory moments. You could tell that it was starting to weigh on him a little bit. Coming back home for his alma mater and trying to win a football game. When losing their first 6 when you're back home, everybody has these expectations for him. But I think once he got that first win, you could tell like it was a relief for him, more of a relief I think than us, just because he wanted to come in here and turn this thing around. This place means the world to him. So I think once he got that win, you could tell it was just he was super excited.
Trey, what do you think has kept the seniors going hard? Because looking at it from the vantage point, if you're a younger guy, you're like, okay, I got time to build this thing up. But if you're a senior, it's 0-6. Some would say you could fold a 10. What has kept you guys going?
I think us as a class, we know we're better than the 0-6 team. We have a couple of mishaps that if they go either direction, we could be 3-3, 4-2, some maybe even 5-1. But it's one of those things where we have a legacy we want to leave as a senior class here, and being the first year with Coach Frost, we want to be the foundation that springboards this thing to top 5, best team in the country, one of those things like that. So I think when you have that kind of motivation amongst us, we're going to come up to work every day. We're going to come and try to teach these younger guys the way and the right way to do things. So I think that's what's motivating us right now.
Even though this is your only year here, is it special to you that you can be on the ground floor of this thing?
Yeah, I saw it. The first year at UCF. I saw those seniors, what they did, how they sprungboarded us to that last year's season. So, being able to come here and do the same thing, I appreciate it a lot just because they allowed me to come here and do that. They didn't have to do that. So, I give thanks to them, for allowing me to do that. But just being able to be the ground base level of this thing that could be a powerhouse soon, not talking 4 or 5 years, I'm talking next year or even the year after that, that's just humbling experience.
Trey, have you seen technique-wise with some of the guys that first year with Coach Fisher, have you seen some of those things start to show up in game, take more and more serious?
Yeah, I mean, if you watch I know specifically the corners, I watched them when I first got here from the spring practices, and if you look at their technique from then to now, it's outrageous. DCAP has playing with 20 times the confidence. Lamar's playing with 20 times more confidence. And, I think, seeing that, me being safety, I see the growth that we've gone through. But I know corner is probably one of the hardest positions to learn and one of the hardest things to change, have 3 different coaches that have been taught 3 different things. But, when I saw them from the spring to now, I think it's outrageous. And I think the guys are starting to buy in just because they're starting to make plays. You see these guys, a couple of PIs here and there, but, I don't think they're great calls, but, I think they're playing the technique perfect. And, they're looking for the ball, turning around, but they know when they can't do that if they're beat. So I think that, they're playing with a good confidence, and the technique is the reason why.
What have you seen Lamar the last couple of weeks, coming back and getting benched that one
Mm-hmm.
and contributing at the end?
Oh, I think that speaks volume to who he is deep down. I know that people have been questioning it, his motivation, his heart, but I see it every day. The guy, he's a fighter. A lot of people, they could get benched and they could quit. They could, put it all in, be done with it, want to leave, and he wasn't a guy that did that. He fought, he kept working throughout the week, and it's something that when his number was called, he was ready to play again. And I think that speaks volume to the person that he is.
Do you know many guys on the Cookman? Do you
I
know
do.
much about their team?
I know we played them a few times when I was at UCF. I don't know too much about their roster, individually on a personal level. I know that they have some pretty good receivers down there as far as what I've seen on film so far.
What do you tell the other players about a team like this?
I try to tell them, if you guys go into a game thing, we're just going to walk over them, then we're highly mistaken. I know some teams did that. They could say the same thing about us when we were 0-6, and that's the level of respect we have to give them, because they're a football team. They put their pants on the same way we do. They're going to play football just like we are. So we have to go out there and attack just like it was. Again, if we were playing the New York Giants, we have to have that same kind of mental approach. Thank you.
Yo, that's crazy.
What were the questions from Mo?
My morning? Shoot, just woke up, went to the gym, did some arms, about recover, and that's it, This is my life. I love working out, I love recovering, I love football, so no better thing than to wake up and do what you love to do.
How much momentum do you think you guys can now get because you won the game? How much more relief? Does the pressure come off now? You guys can play even better.
Yeah, and it's because not only that we won the game, but again, at one point it was 28-0. So I think now y'all even see this team went toe-to-toe with Ohio State. It was a good team, well-coached team, beat some good opponents, played great football early on in the season, and at one point it was 28-0. So to say that's honestly what I took out of that game, is that we are that type of team. That's our standard, We could do that to opponents, and we could do that to quality opponents. So it did take the pressure away, but anything showed us that we could be a dominant team this year and other games to come.
You guys keep focusing focus this week, knowing that it's going to be a step down in competition, maybe from a Big Ten opponent that you guys have faced the last several weeks?
Well, you got to focus on what you got to fix in your game. Again, every game, we didn't play a perfect game, and that's encouraging at that. So even defensively, what we could fix, how we could get better, alignment, assignment, execution, little fundamentals, and that's what you got to worry about. You got to worry about improving your game. Everyone, all of us have to worry about improving our game and getting ready for Ohio State. But we got to finish this team first, but you got to understand that this is a great opportunity to improve your game this week.
When the offense jumps out to those big leads, I mean, how much more confidence can that give you guys? Knowing that, hey, our offense got us the lead, and you just kind of play loose.
We all contribute to the lead. You know what I mean? Like I said, it's the offense score, we stop their offense. Offense score, we stop their offense. The offense score, we stop the offense. So we both of the offense and defense contributed to that lead. So like I said, 28-0 is a combination of us having 3 and outs and our offense scoring with the opportunities they had. And that's just encouraging. It's us doing our job, it's them doing their job, and it's a good feeling.
And then kind of on the flip side of that, when they got back into it, made it 28-22,
Mm-hmm.
how do you not think about what happened at Northwestern and the last minute? How do you move on from that and focus in the moment?
Well, it was Coach's vocal point of the week. He said, let's let that never happen again. Northwestern game was not supposed to end like it did, and we let that happen. And so I think in everyone's mind, I know in my mind, I was like, okay, yeah, this stops now. You know, telling the guys that I know everyone was thinking the same thing. It stops now. We got to turn it around, and we did. You know, a couple key plays. Eric made a key play on kickoff. Dedrick got the interception. A lot of stuff, a lot of combination of good plays that help us, you know, put it back to a 4-score game. So it's that's the thing. We just thought about it. It was Coach Frost's vocal point of the week, and I think everyone thought that even after that last touchdown, and then we was like, yeah, it stops now, and that's what happened.
How good is that moment for Dedrick? And when you think he's a quiet guy, he doesn't talk to us much. So how would you describe his personality and who he is?
Dedrick is not quiet. I mean, he might be quiet to y'all, but he's not a quiet guy. He's just, I mean, he's to himself. Yeah, even when it takes him a moment to warm up to others. But for him to get that pick for the linebacker room, and even because it was like a tip drill, we do the tip drill every day, and you know, tip drill, and then he put his whole entire body on it, and it was crazy. I mean, like I celebrated with him under the pile. I was beating his chest, you know, all that, just hype with him, and I'm happy for him to get his first career interception. So that was good. That was good for the team. It was a touchback, and it was good for him, and I'm just happy that he got that.
You guys came in at the same time, right? Like
Yeah.
In the same recruiting class, and he played right away.
Yeah.
You had a redshirt year, so you guys have had a little bit different trajectories. You kind of ended up on the game, both the starters now.
Mm-hmm.
What has that experience been like, kind of walking through that with him? He's kind of played all the way through, and you've kind of had a different trajectory of it.
I've always looked at Dedrick as I would say, a role model in that. Even though we are in the same grade, he started as a true freshman. I did it. Of course, as a competitor, that's something that I wanted to do. But I seen, I always ask, okay, why he got that, and I seen the little things he did, and I model my game. I model how I approach things, just like him. He's a very professional guy, and that's something I really respect. He's accountable. He's disciplined, and he knows everything that he needs to know and more. So he's, as a friend, you know, you having a friend like that, having a teammate like that, you look up to them, and you copy their game, and they copy your game, and you just get better. So he's a person that has made me better as a player and as a person, and I'm thankful for him.
Well, being from Atlanta, are you familiar at all with Bethune-Cookman? And you know where they're located? I mean, do the guys on the team know?
No, I don't. Yeah, I don't know. Somewhere in Florida, yeah. But, I mean, again, that's another football opponent, so I'm ready for them. On the run? Yeah. It just, like I said, when I was up here in front of y'all last week, I said when Minnesota stopping the run was the biggest thing for me. I wanted to stop the run. I came in there. My goal was to be dominant versus the run. And I wanted our team to, because of last year, because that was embarrassing. So for them to, I don't know what the rushing stat was, but I think it was under 100. So for them to have that is, you know, it just goes to show that everything we preached during the week, we came out and we executed and we got it done. So it just Northwestern, this game, I just think our run defense just improved just because we're doing better in our fits. We're detailing our work, our footwork. We're not overrunning gaps, and we were playing inside out of everything. Oh yeah, before he was injured, he was very physical at safety. Probably our most physical safety during fall camp, and a lot of players could attest to that. I think he was very physical, so I think he's a perfect fit at outside linebacker. And of course, you know, he has great instincts, and he could cover. So the biggest thing is getting dirty with the linemen. That's going to be a big adjustment for anyone. So he works on that. He's going to be a good fit at that position.
Anything else, Mo?
No.
Bring Matt Mariak in. Offense. Adrian should be here shortly.
Matt, as a line, was that your guys' best game this season collectively with the pass?
I mean, I feel like we put together really well games all throughout the season. It's just we didn't commit penalties this game, and instead of starting with first and 15 or second and 20, we just had to get 10 yards every time, and we never put ourselves in bad situations, so we were finally able to finish drives and get points on the board.
Matt, when you see Adrian get co-freshman of the week, you know, how does that make you feel?
I feel awesome for him. I mean, he's a freshman, but he does not act like it. I mean, it feels like he's been here for 3 years, the way he handles himself in practice and games. He's never really, I've never seen him really have true freshman moments. Like he's almost like a vet already, and him earning this honor is incredible. I mean, he more than deserves it.
Everybody talks about how he seems older than he is, but just as far as like connecting, was that a big key for him? That he just connected with guys in the locker room right away?
I mean, really, like no one, like he just was part of the brotherhood the second he walked in the locker room. I mean, he's a down-to-earth kid. He just wants to work hard and win games. I mean, it's hard not to get along with that. Just same as every week. I mean, we got a game instead of a bye week. I mean, who doesn't want to play football?
How much is continuity playing next to both several weeks in a row element for you guys?
It's been awesome. I mean, we were in the same class. We played scout team reps together, so we already had that kind of like used to playing next to each other. But just as games go on, we kind of get more of you just figure out like subtle things that he does. So like you can play into that, he can play into what I does. It just we're becoming a better unit and just kind of like able to communicate without even saying a word.
Have you seen him get more comfortable now as he's settling into?
Oh yeah, he's gonna have a pretty fun time. I'm really excited for it.
You guys have been talking about trying to cut down the penalties. quite a while. What was what happened that you didn't have in this group? What turned?
Just technique, footwork. We made sure that hands are tight, hands are inside. We're playing with good leverage, and we just made it a focal point for now a couple weeks of just like, we're not going to hurt ourselves. We're not going to be the drive killers. We're gonna end every drive with points on the board, and for the most part, we were able to do that. Besides a couple of drives, but I think this point was just a huge kind of like reminder to what happens when you don't commit penalties and when you don't hurt yourself.
How did you guys hold each other accountable?
Just really, it's the same thing. It's just we really emphasize technique, making sure that we're not holding on to the guys, or it was really just a focal point. Like, we're not going to hurt ourselves. We're not going to make dumb plays that will take away points or just kill drives.
It seemed to have improved a little each week since the Michigan game. Now, I know Michigan's got a good game line, but do you remember something from that week where you guys came out of it where you...
Really, honestly, nothing changed. Like, Michigan was, and as bad as it was, there was a ton of learning points. Like, that is a great defense. They're hard workers, and they're extremely talented. And I think just it was a nice kind of like, see where we are, see where we need to improve, because a team like that, they're going to show you where you're weakest. And so having a game like that, to play a team like that, showed us where our weaknesses are and how we can work to change those weaknesses into strengths and just get ready to attack every game.
With the drop in opponent this week now, being a conference game, how do you guys just kind of keep your focus and keep your eye on the ball, knowing that it won't be a Big Ten team coming in here this week?
It's the same as every week. It shouldn't matter who you step on a field with. Whoever's going to play against us, we're going to attack it, we're going to fight it, and we're going to play it no different than if it was a top 5 team. There should never be a change in mentality and change in mindset to whoever's on the field with you.
Pretty Divine will be in here in just a couple seconds.
Hitting mute while you finished.
Well, it gets a little nasty, but I was like, I mean, you don't know somebody will just call you back, right? Like, you only get one try at it. So I roll it over to find a piece of paper on my knees.
Oh,
I can't lose the interview. I don't know if I got the close, like, 100%.
you didn't even have your tape.
No, it was, I had no idea what that was.
He just gave you a window, like, call you.
Yeah, well, I didn't know that name, if I remember. That and when they asked me to call.
All right, switch up. Gerald Foster. Gifford and Divine are here also. Depending on time, we may do this stuff in the hallway today. All right, questions for Gerald?
It was a day off day for you guys.
That was great, just get to sit at home. Woke up at like 8 o'clock. It was kind of nice. I mean, take it what it is.
Gerald, it's a key this week, not a Big Ten game, but keeping the momentum going.
After a win like we had, definitely about, keeping everybody pushing forward. This is a non-conference game, but that doesn't change anything for wanting to win. Haven't really looked too much into, the comparators we're going to go against, but they're halfway through their season just like us, so I know that they got their stuff all together. They'll be a good football team, and I know we're all excited to be able to get in the game that we didn't have at the start of the year.
In your last 5-6 games here of your career, you and the other seniors, what do you want to leave, with this group when you finish out here?
Well, I would say, just the culture that the coaches have been pushing for since January. I feel like we really have anchored down on that. Definitely in the last 3 to 4 weeks, we really anchored down on it. A couple of the guys that, have been through this program, they were texting me a couple days ago, just telling me, remember that, you won't have anything as special as this. And this is guys that are ranging from, now having a job to being in the NFL. They're saying that it's never going to be the same kind of atmosphere. So really, take advantage of your time. So leaving the younger guys with just that note that, we were in harder times at the start of this year, hoping that, this is our turnaround, which I really do believe in all the guys and the way that everybody's looking forward to this, the back end of the season. Just to tell them, cherish our moments when we're all together.
It can be tough around here when things aren't going well, but how was it special to you the last couple of minutes of that game Saturday? Not just winning, but the stadium seemed pretty full at the end, and how loud it was, and kind of that moment.
Being able to get a win, that brought back, just that feeling, for people who've won, just the feeling of knowing that, you've accomplished the biggest task that you're going for the day. The fans all being there, I expected them to be there. It wasn't really too big of a surprise, we really do have the greatest fans, so I didn't expect anything other than them all being there, really being happy to be a part of that win at the end. So seeing the stands full and them all cheering for us was it was a great to see, and I'm happy that they're all sticking with us.
Gerald, you've been a Divine now all 4 years. How have you seen him grow as a player over that time?
I would say one of the bigger things that I've seen Divine do is, you know, he runs behind his pads really well. These last couple of games, I think everybody can see that, you know, if he has to get by 2 or 3 guys to, you know, make his way from having a 6-yard gain to a touchdown, he's really pushing for it. It makes you want to, you know, work that much harder as an offensive lineman just to be able to allow him to get, you know, an easy one instead of having to break through however many tackles he's been breaking through.
Gerald, Adrian got co-Big Ten freshman player of the week today.
Whoop, whoop.
What did you think about that?
Deserved. I saw his stats. My brother, he was tripping. He came up to me after the game. He was like, "Did you see Adrian had 25 for 29?" I was like, that kid's something special, and he definitely is. He deserved it. He plays like that. I'm not scared of any team, you know, in this conference. He's a great person and a great player, so I'm happy that he got well-deserved, though.
Hey, Gerald, the offensive line had significantly less penalties against Minnesota. Do you attribute that to anything, or kind of what it was that?
You know, one thing, thank God I wasn't on that penalty sheet. God, I've been on it for too many weeks. But that's just to the whole team. You know, getting us off of the penalty, off of our penalties and beating ourselves is one thing that, you know, a good team turns to a great team when you're able to do that. So we're going to keep pushing forward. I heard we had a 15-yarder on Hymas that nobody really thought was what it was. You know, I guess effort to penalties. It's whatever that is. It's fine, but we're definitely going to keep pushing to keep our sheet clean. You know, if we can do that for the team, I think that's what we can strive for every single week.
What do you guys do to hold each other accountable on penalties? You know, when somebody does get a penalty, you guys do something in practice or you know, something else, I guess, to reinforce that.
Nothing crazy, like, you know, there isn't too many things we can do. You know, more penalties are in the moment. When it's something that's like a personal foul, that's more of a coach's. The coaches are the ones that are going to handle something like that. But if it's, you know, the little things like a holding or something like that, that's just that's kind of going on yourself. You know, you have to be hard on yourself here and there, which when you get you know, get fouls like that, it's not only going to hurt yourself, it's going to hurt your team. And I think we all see that. We all understand that. So we really don't get on each other for it. It's more, you know, after it happens, you have to have quick amnesia just to get, you know, the game still played. But, yeah, be hard on yourself later in the day, I guess. Nothing crazy that we do.
How are you guys holding up physically and mentally just now midway through the season on that line? And I guess how much do you appreciate it a morning like this where you take a little bit of a break?
I think we're holding up really well. Thank God, you know, we've been able to be out there. There's been a rotation of about 6 or 7 of us that have been going. So thank God for that, for health. I count it to, you know, the strength and conditioning program that we've been having. They get us in the weight room so much of the day, so much throughout the week, just to be able to keep our bodies, you know, nice and well-tuned. So as long as we stick with the program, stick with what they're telling us to do, I think that we'll be fine.
How much does just having one day off be kind of, how much can that help in a week like this?
That's amazing. You know, I feel great waking up and not having to strap on the helmet. It just allows you to, get a couple more hours of sleep, be able to sit down and rest your feet. Tomorrow I feel like I'll feel that much better. I don't know exactly how it's going to be. You know, I haven't had this ever. Having 2 days off is kind of wild. But the coaches, they know the recipe. We're going to stick with it, and I'm really happy to be able to have such a coaching staff that understands that, you know, we get worn out. You know, we're not just players, we're people kind of thing.
Did you guys come in yesterday at all then?
Yesterday.
On Sunday?
Well, I mean, you know, if you have your treatment and things like that, we have meals and stuff that we come in for, but nothing crazy.
It sounds like you guys bought into Coach Frost and his staff from the beginning, but when you guys finally get a win under your belt, how much more does that make the guys buy in even more to what they preach about day in and day out?
Well, I think that's more for the younger guys. I think it was really needed for the younger guys to be able to see, the picture full. For us older guys, you know, I think that we, seeing all the different kind of staffs that we've gone through, we can see that there's something special about this one, and it makes it that much easier for us. But as young guys that haven't, you know, been in college and they don't know exactly how it can be and how things can be ran, they just see this as this is how it is. And without having wins, I think it was harder on them, you know, on the younger guys to be able to understand, you know, what we're going through and what we're doing is the right way, and it is a special way to run a program. So we can keep getting these wins and just give them the confidence. I feel like they'll be showing out, just like Adrian, they'll be showing out coming in these next weeks.
Joe, what about Coach Frost? How do you describe his level of joy after the game on Saturday?
Coach Frost is a player that's coaching us. It's amazing, you know, having a guy that wants to be out there as much as you, and you can see it in his eyes. It's a whole lot of fun to play for, and I can already tell, you know, if we strapped him up today, he'd go in for every single snap. He's that kind of person. I'm really happy that I got to have my last year be with such a guy. He really does understand this game, and he understands people. So, you know, after we're all done here, us seniors, I know that we'll have a place to come back to.
Just like the world.
Do you still have a window that works for the stadium?
I was just saying. I know you have to call it. It's good right
Yeah, I know. It was a beautiful game. We used to do that all the time. Yeah. But now we're getting the right. Why can't they fix it? I think they can. It's just like engineers probably told you after you play the ball, you gotta do all those things.
Oh, no, we interrupted him on the air.
Yeah.
Finish our player portion of the press conference. Yes.
No worries.
Adrian, congratulations. You're the Co-Big Ten Player of the Week for freshmen. What's that reward mean for you?
It was very cool to receive. Definitely honored and want to keep building upon it and hopefully kind of garner some more of those in the future.
What did you think about your performance on Saturday?
I felt like I did my job. You know, that's all that's really asked of me. You know, I was efficient out there and helped distribute the ball, and everyone was doing their job, and obviously that's what resulted in such a big offensive game for us.
What was the difference, especially when you get to go back and look at it and finishing off so many more drives than you have so far in the first season?
Yeah, just really putting an emphasis on that this last week, translating those yards into points, and just knowing we needed to finish drives, and something that we had been missing in previous games.
How important is it now that you do it 2 weeks in a row and how to keep the momentum going this week?
No question, you know, just building that consistency, not becoming complacent. Obviously, we have just won one game, so we need to keep building upon that and you know, be known as a great offensive team.
You can feel it as a player when you're in a rhythm. Can you also see it when a coach is just dialed in play calling? Was that how Scott Frost and the staff was Saturday, kind of when the calls were coming in?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it was all of us. I feel like the players were dialed in. I think the coaches were, and it's not that it wasn't like that in the past, but I think it all kind of came together this last week.
What's the key, this week? Obviously, it's not a Big Ten team, but you want to keep the momentum going to keep in that same level of intensity.
Yeah, no question. Well, I can tell you I'm not satisfied, and I know the team isn't. We're going to go to work just like we have been this year. We can't treat this game any differently. We know we need to keep winning as many games as we can, so we're going to approach this as a must-win and go make a statement.
Coach Rudy's going to talk a whole lot about how even if you play really well, you were just doing your job. How do you balance that with getting awards for just doing your job?
Well, I think the award comes when everyone's doing their job. I think I get a little bit too much credit just because of the position I play, and I wouldn't have been able to do it without great protection, without playmakers on the outside, without Ziggy and Maurice doing their job running the ball. It made things really easy for me. But Coach is right. I'm just doing my job. It's a blessing to be in this offense and have the ability and opportunity to make a lot of plays.
Adrian, did you see the block on your scramble?
Did you see
it during the run, or how did it look on film?
I didn't see it during the run, but I saw it on film, and that describes Maurice to a T. He's so competitive and so passionate. I feel very fortunate to have him on our team. He's going to put everything he has out there on the field, and you could tell in his running style, and it's not surprising to me, and I obviously appreciated the block.
It's because he wasn't kind of like electricity still, like the way he runs.
Yeah, he's pretty elusive. Saw a couple spin moves. Nothing new though. I knew that the day he showed up here. So.
Because Maurice wasn't here all summer with you guys before, how long did it take him to kind of feel comfortable and maybe earn the respect of everybody, just being so new to the scene and having a big role like he's got? Yeah,
that's not something that I can necessarily answer for Maurice, but I can definitely relate in a sense. Coming in the spring and having to adjust, I can only imagine it being harder for him coming so late in August. And the fact that he's been able to make the impact that he has, I think, speaks to how talented he is and how hardworking he is and how much it means to him. He could have taken it off. He could have just, blown this year out because he showed up late, but he didn't make any excuses, and he's come to play.
How many plays did it take before you're like, this guy's good?
Probably his first play. I mean, I saw him in the All-American game, but his first play, you just see his speed, his natural speed and moves. He's a talented player.
How important was today for you not to have to go to work in terms of strapping it on and going through all that?
It was nice to sleep in. But I'm trying to approach this day and not take it for granted. Just make sure I get my body right and make the most out of having an off day.
I know it's probably not easy because you talk about one key member of the team. Simultaneously, a lot of times teams recruit quarterbacks. So that's probably part of what the coaches talk to recruits about. You're going to be playing with this guy. What's your role in helping sort of peer recruit the next class? Or do you feel like you have a role? You just try to.
Well, a lot of my roommates host recruits, and so we end up around each other, and I think this place sells itself. I think Coach Frost sells itself. I don't feel obligated to sell anything. If they don't want to come play here, I think that's on them. This is a special place, and if you can't see that we're building something special, I mean, you'll just have to be on the other end of it.
Anything else for Adrian? Okay, thank you guys. We'll hold the floor for Coach Frost.
What's up, buddy?
All right, go ahead with questions.
What's your approach this week with just balancing like some recruiting, giving the guys rest? I mean, how do you approach this week with coaching?
Our first priority is going to be ready to play and try to win the game. And this is the team that's 4-4. That's a better record than what we have. So we're going to do everything we can to prepare them. We're going to get a couple coaches out this week. We've been doing that in other weeks too. We got some capable guys as GAs and helpers that are capable of getting us through a practice, and we'll get some guys out to try to help recruiting. But we need to do what we need to do to get ready for the game.
Scott Adrian was named the Big Ten co-freshman player of the week today. What do you think about him getting an award?
Co-freshman player of the week? Who's the other one? Oh yeah, he deserves it too. We got a good one. For him to be doing what he's doing at his age, I've said it a bunch, but it's pretty impressive. And I didn't realize he was 25 or 29, and really had another one that got dropped. Their middle of field safety made a good play on another one, and he threw another one away. So it's hard to be much more efficient than that. When I was here, I didn't get to throw 29 passes in a game, but there's no way I would have completed 25.
Scott, you have JoJo Doman at outside backer now. What kind of went into that decision and his versatility maybe that you can bring?
Yeah, that isn't a position move. That's just a guy that knows safety that can also play nickel for us. Our Sam backer and nickel is outside backer and nickel is kind of interchangeable. JoJo's a safety, but especially with Ferg, Gimpy a little bit, we needed another body down there, and he's a smart enough kid to know both those spots and give us some depth at Sam backer, particularly when we're playing teams with 3 wide receivers.
Scott, you had your best offensive output of the season, 659 yards. What's clicking? Because that was a pretty good defensive front you faced on Saturday. What's clicking?
We're just starting to execute it at a better rate. I've been saying we've been getting better. I think that showed up on the field. We just come short of a couple wins, but the offense is starting to understand the system. You can really tell on Mondays when we put a new game plan in, and the majority of it's stuff they've repped before. It's just different looks, different formations, things like that. And the last couple weeks, they just go out and run through it like they've been practicing those plays for 2 weeks. And that's when you know guys are starting to understand the scheme, understand their individual roles within the scheme and how to make something work. And our percentage of plays that everybody executed on was a lot higher than it has been in weeks past, and it's been moving in that direction for a while.
Did Miles Jones get in the game late? What's his development been like here the last couple months for you guys?
No, Miles didn't get in. We're going to try to use him as much as we can when the opportunity's there. He's like several other freshmen. They're really close. They're really close. We just need to see a lot of consistency to feel good about having them out there when the chips are down, and hopefully that time's coming before this season's over with Miles.
You had mentioned on Saturday that Devon Zigbo was a Sunday guy, meaning the NFL. That's quite a compliment. I was curious, what about him do you think translates to the next level? You obviously think a lot of this game.
Well, I think I've said this a bunch. I think he's a step and a half faster than he was at the beginning of spring ball last year, and I think he's leaned out. He's gotten faster. For a guy his size, he makes people miss. I think you were able to see his top end speed the other day when he broke him. He finished him, and he's big and strong enough to run powerful. I had the opportunity to coach a great player before named Royce Freeman. Devon's a lot like him. Royce is having a really good freshman year, and I love watching him and following him, and Devon's the same type of running back.
Scott, it's my understanding that Bethune-Cookman might not have taken this game, but the fact that the staff knew you guys, can you kind of walk us through just how this game was put together, your relationship with that staff?
I think the relationship with the staff mostly hinges through Sean Beckton. Sean's a guy that was in Florida his whole life, and everybody down there knows how good a man he is. And we needed a game. I wanted our guys to be able to play 12 games. I'm not sure if they'd have turned it down. We're paying them quite a bit of money, but you know, we want to go out and play as hard as we can and try to get a win. I know they want to do the same thing, but I think both staffs understand that there's good men on each staff. Sean Beckton being that kind of guy, I think they trusted us that our intentions were right in regards to this game, and we're glad to host them. Got a lot of respect for them and their coaching staff and their players, so looking forward to a good game.
You went back and watched Saturday. Was that the best you blocked on the perimeter tied on this wide receiver?
Yeah, at times it looked like I want it to look. I said it in the post game, but one of Devine's long runs. Anytime you're in quarters and we have one hat for the corner and the safety, we want our wide receiver to MDM block the most dangerous of the two. We called it double read here when I was in school. Matt did it, Jeff Lake did it, Lance Brown did it, Sean Weeding, all those guys. Johnny Vedra was the best at it. Haven't really seen one that looks like it's supposed to look yet until Saturday, and Devine broke the run to the front side the other day, and Mike came down and got the safety, and the corner fit late and turned into a touchdown. And those are the kind of unselfish plays that we need to have. One of the marks of a really good team is when their wide receivers block. That shows guys willing to sacrifice for the team, and when they're not catching a ball, they go make a play that can help the team win. And there were some good blocks on the perimeter Saturday.
The Eric Lee play on kickoff return, did you notice that? Did you notice him catching him as it happened, or did you see it on film, and what was your reaction?
When it happened, I was just hoping somebody would catch him. But Eric showed good hustle on that play. You know, he wasn't in position when he broke, and continued to fight and sprint after it, and that turned out to be a really big play to get him stopped, and then not getting any points out of that drive. So that's the kind of effort that we're looking for, and that we preach to guys all the time. It was good to see it show up.
Scott, you mentioned Sean Beckton. How much did it help during the tough start to have a staff that it wasn't a first-year staff that you knew well, and just the steadiness they showed through the tough start?
Through this whole thing, I knew we had the right guys. I knew we were in the right schemes. I knew the coaches were coaching the players the right thing. I trusted every one of those guys. I said this before, but it was important through that the players didn't see us change. I don't think that's very good leadership to get them all fired up about this is the way we're going to do things, boys, until a couple things go the wrong way and then we change. I got a lot of really good men that I work with. I trust them. They've been doing the right thing the whole time, and it was just a matter of time before that led to good results. But having the whole staff come and guys that I trust and that I know can do the job, that I've seen do the job before, that gave me some peace of mind that I knew we were moving in the right direction, and we still got a long way to go, but I know we're moving in the right direction.
Scott, the players seem to really enjoy the day out today. How important was it to give them a little bit of time to themselves and speak?
Yeah, it's not ideal because we need to get ready for this game. We're going to approach this game like any other, and we got to be ready to go out and play well and win the game. But 12 weeks in a row is tough. You see the NFL coaches all the time when they win talk about victory Mondays and say see you on Wednesday. Not only do our guys need to rest a little physically, this has been long and a little bit stressful for these guys, and I think a day where they don't have to come into the building is positive. So we're going to make up for that time tomorrow, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, make sure our guys are dialed in and ready, but we just kind of felt like one day off would benefit us more than trying to get them back out there right away again.
You talked about Maurice's talent level and things he can do, but we see him try to line up a big block. He's done it a couple times this year. I mean, where does that? It seems like he's got quite a competitive edge.
Yeah, when the ball gets kicked off, he's ready to play, and I love guys like that. The best thing about Maurice is he loves football, and you can see that in the way he plays. You can tell when a guy doesn't even have the ball in his hands and he's playing hard. He must love the game, and Maurice got a passion for the game. He's going to keep getting better too, and I'm glad he's on our side.
You guys had significantly less penalties, especially on the offensive line. Do you attribute that to anything? Just better execution, or what is that?
Yeah, hopefully better execution. Some of the penalties on the offensive line, our feet just weren't in the right place, and you resort to reaching out a little bit. You know, that's assuming I agree with all the calls, but it was good to see him. It was good to see him down in this game. And you talk about things we need to improve. That's definitely one of them. And I thought in this game we were more disciplined. We didn't have any dumb penalties again, and effort penalties we can live with, but the bad mistakes and the guys not paying enough attention or be focused enough to get those type of penalties, those are the ones we can definitely fix. And a lot of those went away on Saturday, so we need to keep that up.
You ever been in a situation where they got the downs messed up like that Saturday, where it was clearly second down and the ref goes third down, and you had to stop the game there to kind of...
I don't know if I remember that. You know, everybody makes mistakes. We make mistakes as coaches. You guys write some really dumb things sometimes. But I'm just glad they got that one fixed. for a minute I thought I was wrong, and I thought I was losing my mind because I could have swore we just got the first down. But as long as the next play didn't go off and we got the extra down, everybody's going to make a mistake from time to time.
Scott, in all your years playing quarterback, did you ever get a run the statue of Liberty?
No, I never did anything like that. I just handed it off to Amon and Joel and let them do the work. We threw a lot of stuff at those guys. We needed to win, so we threw a lot of stuff at them, and a lot of stuff the guys were excited to go out on the field and execute, and that helped the enthusiasm last week. And we had a bunch of stuff that we had to dial up for them worked on Saturday.
I know you have to talk general about it, but with recruiting, did you sense the guys this weekend that were in feeding off full stadium when you're 0-6 and stand to the end and all that, the environment?
There's absolutely no question. Recruiting's going really well. We need it to, because we need to keep supplementing what we have already on the team with some more talent and some more guys that love the game. We're going to love on each other. But I'll say it again, there's not another place in the country you could be 0-6 and have that kind of energy in a full stadium. These fans are incredible. I can't say how much I appreciate them, and they've been so supportive even through all this. And I think the vast majority of them can see some of the struggles we've been going through, but can also see the improvement and can see where this is going. And every single one of the recruits commented on it, both the direction they can see this football program going and the unbelievable support. And if it's this way right now, I can't wait to see it once we get this thing rolling. It's going to be a lot of fun around here.
Do you talk to offensive recruits or even defensive recruits about, we got this quarterback, he's going to be here for 3 more years, or do you not try to single out any of your players?
No, if I was a receiver or a running back or a tight end coming into a program and I knew somebody had a freshman quarterback playing as well as Adrian's, I'd want to be at that school. So I think that's a big selling point for us, particularly on offense, even on defense, to be able to play with a guy like that. You want to see where a program's going, and that's a huge piece when you got the right guy under center. And I think a lot of guys that we've had in to visit can recognize that.
Is he okay with it? How does he take that? Knowing that he might have to field a few questions.
He's anxious to meet every one of the recruits that's on campus and help us recruit. Adrian's on board. As good a kid as I've been around, and he's going to help do everything he possibly can do to make sure that we get where we know we're going.
They have a couple of touchdowns returned on kickoffs this year. What will be your emphasis moving forward on kickoff coverage?
Punt coverage and kickoff coverage have been a thorn in our side. Even in that game, up 3 scores with 5 minutes or whatever was left. If you make them use some clock to go down and get a score, you feel good about the game, and then they get the ball on the 12 or whatever it was. Those things can't happen. So we're going to keep working. It isn't like we haven't been training and working and doing the things, and we'll keep doing them. Guys got to make tackles. We got to kick the ball where it's supposed to be kicked. Touchbacks are great, and one of many things that we still have a lot of work to do on.
How did he do that going from joining in September to where he is now?
He started doing things the right way, and he's been a good teammate for the last several weeks. When a guy does things the right way and is a good teammate, we're anxious to get him on the field and see what they can do, and he's taking advantage of that.
Just a little bit out of left field, but kind of a general college football question. There's a couple of weeks ago, a team took a backup quarterback and changed his jersey and put him out to line up as a punter, and then they faked a punt. Do you have any good stories about jersey switches that you've come across? Do you have that in your arsenal to try that, or do you think much of that?
I don't think that's something we'll do, to be honest with you. I'm kind of a traditionalist, and anything that compromises the integrity of the game, I'm not really in favor of. If you have a tackle that you want to put in at tight end and you announce it, that's one thing, but I don't know if we'll get involved in that kind of deception. we're looking for any advantage we get, but I don't want to sound like I'm standing on a moral high horse here, but we want to try to do things the right way.
What were your thoughts on Purdue beating Ohio State and just for the Big Ten West and kind of seeing a game like that play out on Saturday?
It gives me a lot of hope and encouragement. Not that we didn't have hope before, but we're not that far away. A few weeks ago from being in the game and have a chance to beat Purdue. In fact, we made a lot of dumb mistakes. We'd have been right in that, or even been in a better situation. And got a lot of respect for Coach Braum. I said that before, and his team. This league is really good, top to bottom, and any team can beat any team week to week. And I think the encouraging thing is, we weren't that far away from winning that game, and then they're able to knock off a really good team in Ohio State. That's kind of how the league is, but I think it shows that we're not that far away.